Welcome to Team Effort. Today's topic is develop an interactive visual design guide, or why searching for the correct PDF version leads to terrible results. Hi, I'm Morten from Hyperreactive. Today we're going to talk about creating and maintaining an internal interactive visual design guide and the advantages this can have for your team. If you're new here, please subscribe to this channel. And as always, you can read even more about this topic in the article linked in the description below, where you can also subscribe to our newsletter. This time around, the article contains tools and recommendations for different ways to create a visual design guide in different contexts and frameworks. If your team is developing any kind of customer-facing application, be it a desktop, device, or web application, you most likely have a design guide. You might even have multiple design guides across different branches or departments. But many organizations unfortunately only have these design guides offline in a non-interactive way, maybe as a PDF, maybe as a sketch or Photoshop document. This leads to a lot of problems. For instance, you might not be sure that everyone is looking at the correct version of the PDF that you're using or can find the right version of the sketch document or Photoshop document. It's also difficult to experience the interactive elements such as transitions and animations. Our recommendation here is simple. Create and maintain an interactive visual design guide, co-owned and co-maintained by both developers and designers. And make sure that everybody accepts and understands that this is the reference implementation of your design guide and it trumps any other document. In such an interactive design guide, you must be able to fully interact with any element, just as if it was the real application. You can hover and click buttons, you can drag icons, you can open drop-downs, just as in the real app, and you can see every state of every component used across the entire application. Finally, make sure that this design guide uses the exact same code base as your real application. This ensures that you will never have the problem that a button on some page isn't updated when the design guide is updated, because it's literally the same code. An interactive design guide will also serve as a great reference for prototyping, sprint planning, and discussing new features. You can also use it for visual unit testing, maybe even with automatic screenshot comparisons. If a designer or a developer wants to change something in this design guide, they can't do it on their own. This is by design. If you want to change something, you need input from both parties. A designer has to take the decision, a developer has to implement it, and finally the designer has to verify the implementation. This might seem cumbersome, but it isn't really. Just sit at the same screen for 10 minutes and you're probably good to go. Make sure this design guide is accessible to all members of the team, designers, developers, managers, and testers in particular. One final option here is to let the designer see the actual interactive elements in their design tool of choice. This isn't possible for all combinations of tools, but for some it is. If you're using Sketch for your design and you're creating web elements, you can actually embed your web elements directly in the Sketch app. This can be done with React, Vue, and basic HTML elements. A similar tool has recently been launched for Figma, which is an open source design tool. It takes a bit of practice to get right, but it will be a great help in the long run and will ensure much smoother collaborations between the designers and developers in your team. But even without this reverse integration of interactive components in your design tool, having an interactive design guide as the primary reference for all discussions on components will be a huge boost in the productivity in your team. This brings me to the question of the day. Do you use an interactive design guide, and if so, how? Please give your answer in a comment below and feel free to tag it like this. Finally, remember to like and subscribe for more content like this. We'll be posting new content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so make sure to stay updated. When you follow the link below for our in-depth article, you can also sign up for our newsletter on all things relevant for modern web development teams. Keep coding, and thanks for watching.